Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jerry Littner, and this is State of the Town, a monthly show when we sit with our first selectman, Lisa Heavner, and get brought right up to date on the state of the town.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So, how are you, Lisa? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. And why don't we start off in a real big up note? Because you had a confidant call you and say, oh, you got to go to this website.
We did.
And when you went to the website, what did you discover?
Well, it's a website called onlyyourstate.com, and we were listed, Simsbury was listed as the #1 best town in America.
In America?
Yeah, how about that?
In America.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't disagree, but I wonder how that was decided.
I don't know, but we're taking it.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Because not only that, we're like #1 in America. The school systems, like out of the United States, and the top whatever, 25 or something, we're the only one up from the Gold Coast that's right up there in like the top 10 or something.
Yeah, Money Magazine, we're the top 10 best places in America to live. So
I know.
How about that?
And, it's exhausting to maintain all of this. And how do you do that when you have such a tight budget?
That's a great question, Jerry. I'm glad you asked.
Oh no, listen to her. She was like not a politician at all. And now it's, because they always say, that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked.
But I am glad because it is budget season, and I think it really goes to show that Simsbury has made important investments in value. And those value are things that are being recognized not only by our residents who've known what a great place it is to live. Well, like our bike trails, like our schools, like our open spaces, like our trails. You know, we're a river to ridge community, and we take great pride in. How about that?
River to ridge?
River to ridge.
Did you just coin that?
Yeah, there you go, right there. I think it's in my letter on the town website. I put that in a few months ago.
River to ridge?
Yeah. You like it?
I love it. I think that's great.
Well, when you think about Simsbury, right? You think about great hiking. You think about the Flower Bridge. As you know, your wife is very active there. The crew team,
there
the people.
You go again. You always say your wife is very active there.
And you too.
I am as active. I was one of the original founders.
Yes, you were.
Okay, but then she's a year younger than I am, so.
There you go.
So, what happened to the water tower in Terriffill? Is Terriffill in danger?
They are not in danger.
It could come apart and flood?
No. So there is about an 80-year-old water tank up on Laurel Hill in Terriffill.
River from Ridge.
Yeah. No, this is just on the ridge. But there is a water tank in Terriffill, and it's on, obviously it's put on a hill because that helps with the flow of water. And it's an 80-year-old tank.
How does water flow up to get to the tank?
I don't know. I don't know the mechanics of it, Jer. What I do know, it's an 80-year-old tank, and it needs to be replaced. And right now it's on an easement owned by the town. So we're working with them and our new open space ordinance on disposition, and working to switch it so that they can switch where their tank is located to a new location.
Still on town property?
Still on town property. And we're working with the state on that and the Terriffill Water Company to try and get this all done. Because
there's a Terriffill Water Company?
Yeah, they have their own water. Yeah.
Boy, are they smart. We never, ever should have sold to Aquarian. I mean, I know ours was in bad repair, so it would have taken a lot of money on the part of the town. Water, and it'll become this shortage, and Aquarian will just sell all our water, where we could have owned it.
Well, Terriffill did not make that decision to sell, so it is run by local residents, and they do need water, and the tank does need replacement, and we want Terriffill to have water. So the town is working very closely with them. Tom Cook, Jeff Shea, our town engineer, town council, the board of selectmen. So it's exciting.
Shrewd, Terriffill. Now look, get them to build a bigger tank or 2 tanks, because you are bringing big bucks to Terriffill. truly, water is going to be the new oil.
Yeah, well,
No question about it.
They've done a great job. It requires a lot of permitting, not only with the state, with the town. They're working on getting a grant for it. It's a lot of work, and they've done a great job, and so we're really excited to support them.
Okay. Talking about a lot of work. I see a lot of work going on what used to be, I think, Northeast Utility property, right on the border of Avon.
Yes.
Whew. Talk about, I mean, at one point, when you see, that's all sand there, that river must have been really wide. And then it just kept receding, and the sand built up, and now it's skinny Farmington River.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's like all sand in there. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, what they're doing, that's Garden Home Apartments, and they're building about 180
I thought it was mixed
residents.
use.
Yeah, mixed use. Garden Home residences, I should say. So it's about 180 residences that they're putting in there. And there's plans over time to put in some retail or commercial as well.
Big box would be nice.
No. I think our residents have made pretty clear that they're not interested in
Oh,
that.
no, that was stacked. It was just a bunch of our Louder residents who live down that way. And so there can never be a big box. They changed the zoning. You can't have a single thing beyond a certain total square footage.
In some areas,
First
yeah.
of all, we give our water away. Then, sources for revenue, we say no to. You're here to change all that, right?
Well, I'm here to do what the residents want. And we know that we did a town survey, as you know, in June, and asked our residents, what do you care about in Simsbury? And the one thing all residents seem to care about is preserving Simsbury as a great place to live. And in other words, securing its historic nature, the look and feel of the town was very, very important to residents.
Sure. You can put a big box behind trees.
Well, you know what, they'll have to go through the zoning process like any other resident, but our residents have come out, and what they've said is they prefer how businesses look. So when you think of Starbucks across the street from where we are now, it's a chain, right? But it doesn't look like a chain because it's built in this beautiful historical building. And so our residents care very much about how things look.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Don't make me the enemy here. You seem so respectful of the independence of all the committees and all of that.
Yeah.
Once in a while, Lisa, use the bully pulpit.
Absolutely.
Climb up on that pedestal.
That's what I do with you
The Queen
here.
of Simsbury. Like Lisa d'Arc.
I've never had anyone call me that.
No, well, but it's a good name. So, in doing that, things that need to be done, there always needs to be money.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have been telling people ahead of time, get ready, get ready. Certainly not like Malloy or Brannan have had to tell people. But you put forth a budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went first to the Selectman.
Yes.
And did they just bow down and roll over and say, Lisa, you got it?
No, but they were very respectful because the budgeting process we do is a give and take. We go through priorities.
Okay, so what got taken? I'm sure nothing was given. Oh, wait, something was given.
Yeah, there were a few things given. So there are a couple things we did. We put in our capital request, a request to purchase the street lights in town. And by doing that, we'll replace the lights with
Explain that,
LED.
because when we initially did that deal, it's do we rent them,
Right.
Okay, well, maybe people don't remember that.
I don't remember way back when the original
Oh, you
deal
were
was
too
signed.
young then.
Yeah, I was too young. But the bottom line is right now there is an opportunity to purchase those street lights, and you do that in the capital budget. And in doing that, we will save money on electricity by converting to LED lights. And the savings over a year could be as much as $85,000 a year. So we found some savings there, and that was through an initiative of Tom Roy, Director of Public Works. The other thing we did in town is we upgraded energy efficiencies in a few of our buildings, mostly Town Hall and the library, and that will give us about $30,000 in savings. So we incorporated those.
So we're over 100,000.
Yeah, so we incorporated those savings in the Board of Selectmen budget. One of the things that we did is the Board of Selectmen felt that we really needed an assistant town engineer. So they added that to the budget.
So this is a job that Rich used to do all by himself,
Yeah,
but now there will be an assistant.
right.
And is it Rabbit, who's there now? Who's there now?
No, Jeff Shea is the town engineer,
Jeff Shea,
so
yeah,
it'd be an
okay.
assistant town engineer.
I hear really good things about him.
He does a great job, as
Yeah.
do all our staff. But as you can see, just looking around town, there's a lot of development going on, and it's hard to manage.
And 88 new ones up by
Hoskins.
Hoskins, yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff.
Wow. Where are all the people going to come from?
Well, you know what?
Let's do that affordable thing. No, those are not going to be. It was in the paper again today. The median income in Simsbury is, well, it's 6 figures. I don't know, maybe it was 117,000. I won't have that exactly right. So affordable housing means it has to be like 80% of that, no more than 80% of that.
There are different regulations. I think what you're referring to is an 830G application, which is a state.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
So that has different requirements than the workforce housing zone as overlay. As you know, the town of Simsbury put a moratorium on the workforce housing overlay because they wanted to relook at that.
That one guy just filed again under this other.
As I understand, I haven't seen the application, but I think it is being accepted tonight. So, the residents made clear how they felt about that, and it'll have to go through the process.
Okay. So, did anything get removed from your budget?
I'm trying to think if anything really got. Yes, body cameras.
Body cameras?
Yes.
What is this?
The Board of Selectmen voted, and its capital project, the Police Commission and the Chief of Police put in a request for body cameras for their police officers. And those are used for a number of reasons. One, to protect police officers. So if there's a stop and there's a false accusation against someone, the cameras will show that our police officers are acting responsibly, which they always do. So when you have good police officers, body cameras are good for police officers because it protects them against false accusations. They're also used for training.
So it's not true, what I heard was that the police objected to it because they felt they didn't have nice enough bodies to be on camera?
No, that was not the reason.
No, that was not the reason.
Now, the Board of Finance had a problem with it because they felt they didn't fully understand the long-term implications.
Oh, this was the Board of Finance,
the Board of
not the
Finance
Board of
cut
Selectmen.
it, yes, which is, yes, the Board of Selectmen put it in, the Board of Finance cut it at the last public hearing.
Okay, but the last public hearing was the first public hearing,
Correct.
right? Have there always been two?
No.
I didn't think so.
There's always an opportunity to do two. I think in the years I've been on the board, they've always just done one. But you can always do two.
How many people were there?
Not that many.
2 or 3?
No,
Gets smaller every year.
I would say probably 10 to 12 maybe.
Okay, but the second meeting is because they listened to those 10 or 12 and they might revise something?
Perhaps. They didn't say why.
Dun.
We'll find out. That meeting is April 19th.
Wow.
At 6 p.m.
I'm not even sure. Oh, the meeting's April 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we vote.
On May 10th, right? A referendum.
Boy, things are moving. Speaking of voting.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
What are those big sheets?
I have here a couple of sample ballots because we have the presidential preference primary coming up on April 26th, and this is what a sample ballot looks like.
Now, the preference, is a preference primary different from the primary?
It's just called a presidential preference primary. I can't tell you why, but if you go to the state
How can you vote for an uncommitted?
Well, I don't know. What's on there? And I'll show you the Democrat side is over here.
And who's Rocky?
I am not familiar with him, but
I didn't see him on any of the debates.
I have not either.
Oh, and you can do an uncommitted there too.
You can.
But
See, it says presidential preference primary.
I see where it says
Yeah.
that. That's why I asked about preference as opposed to is it different from a primary. One of the things I should mention relative to, because of the high profile of the Queen of Simsbury, we have as our camera person the president of SCTV.
We do.
Yes, Althea Greaney. And she's going to join us for a minute to explain some exciting news. This is a scoop. It happened just today. So,
And I had lunch with her.
well, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Okay, Althea, could you join us for a moment and tell us the good news?
So, Althea, you and I were together at lunch today.
were.
Tell everyone why.
We were at lunch because we were being recognized by the Simsbury Women's Club. And
Well, you
Who's
were
we?
SCTV.
well, actually, no, they actually were commenting that we lived in a most wonderful community. And that just living in such a community filled their heart with so much joy, it brought tears to their eyes. And it was a really warm, welcoming
Wow,
committee.
they have softened up. Years back, when I would go to accept the gift, it would be a token little thing. You got a big gift this year.
And this was from the Simsbury Women's
The
Club.
Simsbury Women's Club, this year they changed things up a little bit. They asked what we could use, and we told them that because there's so many meetings and events happening outside of Town Hall and the studio, and it's very difficult to do a live broadcast from other locations, that there is a small device, it's about 3 inches by 5 inches and 1 inch thick, that will allow us to hook up to our cameras, send the video signal over an internet Wi-Fi connection directly to our studio, where it can then be inserted into the stuff that goes out to the cable companies. So we'll be able to easily do our live broadcasts from everywhere thanks to the Simsbury Women's Club.
And that's
Wow.
interesting because right now we're being taped and it's not live.
Right,
We're doing it on tape because we don't have that ability yet.
right, yep.
Well, that is so cool. Well, congratulations and to all of the volunteers that work so hard at SCTV. And of course, thank you to the Simsbury Women's Club. That's wonderful,
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a beautiful and delicious meal as usual.
Right, and they gave awards to many other organizations.
Oh,
including-
yeah, but
Let me list them because it was
Okay.
awesome. It was awesome.
okay.
They gave to the
Do
teen.
we have enough time, Althea? We
Wait.
about out of time?
I'll zip through it.
Yeah, okay.
So the teen library got a Wii U game for the
Yeah.
kids there, and they do competitions and Wii bowling and stuff like that. A community farm got some picnic tables. The housing authority got some benches. Oasis, which is a veterans program at Tunxus, got some gift cards for food and gas, and the crew team got a new door.
You know, that's wonderful. Specific
Yeah.
gifts. That's cool.
it-
That's really cool.
And
Yeah.
this was all done. They do all volunteer work, raise the money, and then they give back to the community. How lovely is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yay
Oh,
for
was it a
volunteers.
question?
I got to get back to my camera. Nice seeing you again.
And
Nice
of course,
chatting
boss.
with you. Take care.
One thing I do want to mention, Jerry, and people may not, I mean, we say it all the time, but everybody who tapes these shows is a volunteer.
Yeah,
And so if anyone wants to do this, it's a lot of fun.
it is a lot of fun. And I noticed in the announcement on Simsbury Patch that one of the new board members, that is his goal, to get more young people involved. And I know the station has tried very hard over the years to do that. And it's a great opportunity for young people. I mean, it's an ongoing thing of the future. And so you got a head start before you ever get to school to learn what changes about it. So
And the other thing, people think that it's strange to be on television, even with you and I. People ask me, do I
well,
get
it is
nervous?
strange.
It
when
is
you and
strange.
I-
But people always ask me, do you get nervous? And it's a lot easier to do at SCTV because it's just like going home. People are very nice. It's very casual. You can tape things
do
you
you
don't
do
like.
other television that you get nervous on?
No,
You don't do a Real Wives of Simsbury?
no, I
Oh,
don't.
no. Okay, so we covered budget. The police don't want their bodies on cameras. We covered the water tower that we're keeping Terriffill from being flooded and preserving money for Terriffill when water gets more scarce than oil.
We've got Hometown Heroes coming up.
Oh, let's talk
Nominations
about
are
that.
coming in, and we'll do
Oh,
that.
they're just coming in.
Yeah, so that we'll do a
Hmm.
presentation in May. I can't remember the date. but
Now, so if somebody wants to nominate someone, how do they do that?
They can go online to the town website or call the First Selectman's office at 860-658-3230, and we can get them the application form, but the deadline is coming soon. And I'm trying to think when it is. It's online, so you'll have to look when the deadline is. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay, well, online, the new town site is really good.
Yeah,
Really
isn't it?
cool. A lot easier to use. So let's see, downtown. Downtown looks good. New eating places, because I try them all. I think I've tried them all. I don't think there are any brand new ones.
Now, I
right
know we can't talk about this because of the timing thing, but the Farmington Valley Trails Council is doing a big trail cleanup on the 17th, although by the time viewers see this, it'll
Yeah,
be
because
complete.
you had to sign up early.
Yeah.
And
But talk about that, because that's a great thing. That's, again, volunteers just stepping
yeah.
up and trying to make
Okay,
the
it's a
community.
great thing, and the volunteers do it, and they send you this invitation if you volunteered before or you're a member, and you sign up, and it's a mystery what section you're going to get. Now, as it turns out, Jan and I got the same section we got last year.
Oh, good.
I think it's the worst, dirtiest section, probably. That's what I've heard. Anyhow, it was great last year. There were a
Yeah.
lot of people out there, and one section would meet up with the other section, and it was very nice. And you get a really ugly, grotesque chartreuse T-shirt, or at least it was chartreuse last year. I don't know that it will be this year.
I can't tell you. But the thing about it, I think people always think our trails are one of the most amazing things in town. And I
they
think
are.
the one thing, I'd like to give credit is to our residents who do such a nice job helping us keep them up. It's not just,
Well, and there's that other thing. You see the signs, you can adopt the part of the trail
yeah.
to keep it clean. I don't know if all the areas are adopted or not.
No, I think there's still opportunities to adopt, and Bruce Donald is sort of organizing that, the Farmington Valley Trails Council, or Jerry Toner can assist with that.
Bruce Donald, see, now I don't recognize that name. And Jan and I were talking the other night, and we were reading something about local people who are doing this and that and active.
Well, he's with the whole East Coast Greenway, so he
Oh, wow.
coordinates with Simsbury and many other towns. So this is a regional effort.
I see.
Yeah.
Anyhow, our conclusion was, who are these people? Are they children? I mean, actually, it was very encouraging because years ago it seemed like we had a volunteer crisis in town and that our volunteer group was aging and then aging out of some of the activities because they couldn't do them anymore. And at that point, we just weren't seeing younger people come in. But I think that's changed. I mean, I see a lot of these new names, so
And
it
one
must
of
be
the things
case.
that's coming up, Jerry, that has a ton of volunteers is the Simsbury Innovation Fair on April 30th.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about that?
I don't.
Well, it's
apologize.
co-sponsored by the library, the Historical Society, and the public schools. And there'll be all sorts of opportunities to visit those three sites and look at bicycle innovation, adaptive cycling. There's a flower project where they build murals out of flowers on the ground. There's life-size chess.
Oh, I think I knew about that
There's,
one.
how do you fly a drone? They have a guest speaker from Consumer Reports who's going to talk about, I don't remember. They have robotics team demonstrations. It's
Drones?
3D printer demonstrations. So
3D printers. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I saw this kid who had really gnarly teeth, but he was like an older kid, and he was in high school, so he took a mold of his teeth, and then, like model teeth, what would be ideal, and then through a 3D printer, he created a series of molds progressing from his teeth
Oh,
to what they would look like. And then he kept upgrading, and they had a picture before and after.
Really?
Yeah.
is this true, Jerry?
I'm hurt, Lisa. Yes. Althea, how are we doing on time?
We're doing okay, but I also want to mention that SCTV will also be at the Innovation Fair,
Oh, great.
Cool.
and we'll be showing how we used really small, inexpensive ways to get our
Like Raspberry Pis.
Raspberry Pis. We'll get the Raspberry Pi demonstration there at the Innovation Fair.
Okay, in case some of you didn't hear that, the Raspberry Pi, they're giving free Raspberry... No, I misunderstood. The Raspberry Pi, which is a innovational device,
Yes.
SCTV will be demonstrating that, and other things that they use to give you high quality on a minimum budget.
And local businesses will be showing their innovations too. So if you go to Simsbury
Why
IDs.
don't I know about this?
Well, I'm telling you now. Go to
I know, but when is it?
SimsburyIdeas.com.
When is it?
April 30th.
There's no time left. So, like, why didn't this get hoot and hollered a lot?
Well,
Why didn't you mention it last month?
I don't know, but it's been in my first selectman's report twice, so I'm excited about it, and I really
First
encourage
Selectman's report, what's that? Who watches that?
Well, hopefully.
This is what they watch.
Yeah, it's true. But for folks who want to know sort of what's going on in town, after every Board of Selectmen meeting, I do, through news and announcements, send out my first selectmen's report, and that does sometimes highlight
See,
activities.
this is, I just want to give you a little pointer here. Now I go overboard in the extreme in that my dynamics range too often. Well, they're very seldom like this, but you know. But you are always so nice, and you do skip along pretty quickly. But it's always a nice, pleasant, informative tone. So people don't know when to like shut up and really listen to you. So like when you give some of those, one of you should have said is like, "Wow, do you know what's coming up?"
I'll see if I can work on that with the other board members.
Well, but it's after them, right? They can't. There's nothing they can do about it. It's your time afterwards when you talk. Yep.
I'll try and be more exuberant.
No, just selectively.
Selectively
though.
exuberant.
So again, this is the 30th, 20th, 30th. It's at all three locations, which is the high school, the library,
the
and
Historical Society.
Historical Society. It starts when?
It is, let's see, 10 a.m. to 4.
10 a.m. to 4, and they're all open during that time. So it's not like let's all march from here to this one
No.
to that one on a schedule. Okay, that sounds pretty nifty.
And there's something else going on the 30th. Do you want to mention that?
Obviously, you want to mention that.
There's the
Mention that.
It's the Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day is April 30th.
How could I miss that?
I don't
That's
know.
Important.
It is important. It's being held in Farmington this year. So
Well,
Farmington High School and Farmington Town Hall.
Farmington, Schmarmington. That's why I missed it.
Well, we try and coordinate with the local towns in the valley. 2 of them have been held in Simsbury, and this one is being held in Farmington. So it's a nice regional cooperation and partnership.
Okay. There was a thing the one year the chamber was involved in. It had a big semi-trailer, or maybe 2, over in front of what was then Andy's, and it was electronic equipment.
They are doing that this year at the Farmington Town Hall. So when you can do your hazardous waste disposal at the high school, and they're also doing a technology, or I don't know, what do you call it?
When is that?
That's the 30th.
But how can I go to the Farmington High School if I'm going to be at the Simsbury High School?
Well, that starts at 8, so you could go there first thing, get it done, be back in Simsbury by 10, and your day is packed.
Do you know how much old electronic equipment I have?
I can only
First of all,
imagine.
it won't fit in one car, so I'd have to make a number of trips. Oh, Jan, we have to plan. Okay, so let's see. It seems like there should be some other whooping good news scuttlebutt that I've heard on the street. I don't hear any complaints. I don't hear any complaints about the budget.
Well,
People seem to be realistic about that.
I think so. I think people are, everybody's focused on what's happening at the state level. There's a lot of uncertainty there, and we're all wondering how that's going to impact municipal budgets. So we're watching that, working very closely with our legislators and working with our lobbyists, so we're watching that.
And poor Bronan. Both of them, Malloy and Bronan, have a tough road to hoe.
They do.
Yeah, you got it easy peasy by comparison.
Well, it's tough in Simsbury, too, because you want to maintain the value but do it in the most cost-effective manner.
Yeah.
So, we try to be mindful of people's money, but we also want to preserve what you love about Simsbury. And that's
I know what I was going to talk about.
What?
You're going to feel real happy because we don't have enough time to talk about it. Once again,
We do.
form of government, whether or not we have a town manager or a first selectman. I don't know how many times we've looked at. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my feeling. So I'm not asking you to agree or disagree. I like somebody from the community is right there and accessible, one of our own. So with that, thank you
Thanks, Chair.
very, very much.
As
and
always.
Thank all of you, and we'll see you again next month on State of the Town.